what you're saying is the reason why you're not even selling your places is because that actually keeps the rents low because your choice to rent it for about how much you've put into it is going to be five, six, $700 a month cheaper than if you were to sell it to somebody for what it's actually worth, not just what you put into it.
Well, when you sell it, now you got a taxable offense you got to do. You're going to have to pay taxes on it, and then you're going to have to reinvest that money again. You're going to have downtime, maybe 2, 3 months before you get your money back. Maybe 6 months if you build another house. You're going to lose a little bit of that money. So, I mean, I would rather hold it, pull my equity out of it, and use the equity I pulled out of it to go build another house. Now I got two houses instead of one house. Now when appreciation goes up to 10%, 20% like we've seen in the last few years, I'm making 20% on this house worth 300,000, and I'm making 20% on this house worth 300,000. And so you're making a tremendous amount of money over a period of a 10-year period of time.
And your renters are not paying as if it was a sold property, which would be $100,000 in its own value.
Yeah,
more.
I can't build a house. I can easily come in, build a house, buy the land and everything, $125,000, $150,000. I can do that all the time. And I can pull all that money back out. I got nothing invested in a deal. I'm still making positive cash flow on it at $1,500 a month. I'm still able to take care of the renters, and then I duplicate it and do it again. And I'm not getting rich, but I'm building wealth because all of my properties are scaling up at a huge percentage rate. Whenever you look at that, I mean, we make close to 1,000 an hour right now, even in this market, in appreciation of our real estate. That's a lot of money. I mean, $24,000 a day, $22,000 a day would make every day of the year.
Can't say no to that.
I mean, you don't get to put that money in your pocket unless you sell it or do a cash out refi, but it's there.
Unrealized
income. That means you're not getting taxed on it. So if you're going to say unrealized income, that means it's income that I'm making that I'm not getting taxed on. Unrealized income is on principal reduction. You don't pay the note, the tenant pays the note. So you're making that money in the end, but you're not paying taxes on it. The tenant's paying taxes.
and the principal.
And the principal. But, well, that's what we're talking about, principal on that, principal reduction. But, there's depreciation, unrealized income. You buy the house one time, you write off at 3.6% a year for 27 and a half years, and you get 40% off of whatever that number is or whatever your taxable rate is. You get that off. You don't pay tax on that money. That's free money every year. Unrealized income. You don't pay tax on that income.
Wow.
There's several places in real estate where you can make money and not pay taxes. And that's because the government wants you to invest in real estate. The government needs, right now, we just talked earlier, the government needs 3 million houses. So the government is incentivizing you to create 3 million more houses because that's the only way them houses are going to get built. They take away my incentivization where I'm not incentivized to build houses. I'm not incentivized to do what I do. I quit doing it. I'm going to go find something that makes better money. And then I'm going to invest in that right there. And that is why the government gives us these incentives. They incentivize us to do the things we do. They incentivize us so that we will put our money where they want us to put our money. And
you take advantage of that.
That's
Use
it.
They want you to do it.
Everybody says Donald Trump's a bad guy because he don't pay taxes. No, he's a smart guy because he knows how to invest and make money and not have to pay taxes. I don't know of anybody that says, I listen to a lot of Democrats complain and say, we don't pay enough taxes. Nobody stops them from paying more taxes. You want to pay more taxes? Pay more taxes. Well, I'm not paying more taxes because they don't make me pay more taxes. Then you don't want to pay more taxes, really. You're just saying that.
Yeah.
I think that the government gets enough of our money. I'm not willing to give them any more than what I have to give them, but I will give them every penny that I have to. But I will try like hell not to give them an extra penny.
What are some of your most valuable connections that you've made and people on your power team, right? Your accountant, your lawyers, contractors.
The most valuable thing I ever did in my real estate life is getting education. I joined Rich Dad Organization, Rich Dad Education in 2014, and that rocked my world. that brought me from way down here to way up here. And that was probably the biggest move I've ever made in my life as far as something that helped me get somewhere that I wasn't. At that time, I owned a company that had 70 employees and running the employees, and I was doing week classes, 4 days, 3 days long, every single month for 3 years. I did it. And all my employees were thankful that I did it, because every one of those classes, even though they weren't real estate, they made me a better boss. They made me a better owner. They made me a better worker. They made me more sensitive to some stuff that I needed to be sensitive to that I wasn't before. It just made me better all the way across. Education is king. If you want to learn, education is where you need to get it from. You're going to learn it whether you go to a classroom and learn it or whether you learn it from experience. And typically experience is more costly.
Great. Yeah, promote some stuff. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
They all out now though. I don't know any of the educational programs that I would push right now.
Okay.
Elite Legacy bought out Rich Dad Poor Dad or Rich Dad Education. They didn't buy Rich Dad Education. They leased the name for Rich Dad Education for years, but they ran it in the ground, and before it was over with, they were ripping people off. So you got to be careful with that right there.
Okay.
It's just, I don't agree with a lot of what I'm reading out there or what I'm listening to on people's viewpoints. There is no get rich quick thing. You're not going to go out there, go with no money, go buy, Grant Cardone. No money, but I'm going to go buy 350 apartment complexes and I'm going to be a millionaire in 12 months. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You're not syndicating and making that kind of money off of nothing. It just doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to the $1 billion boardroom mastermind in a couple of weeks in Guadalajara, Mexico. So I'm going there to present and talk to everybody. But, in that environment, those guys are all syndicators and they all make good money. So I'm not saying syndication is bad. I'm fixing to syndicate my first deal, and I'm only doing it because it's a new construction deal and I got my dollars everywhere else. So I'm going to bring some fresh money in on that right there. But all of it's good. Just do something. Just do something.